G'day guys, Coach Jesse here with another video breaking down the kettlebell swing, and today I'm going to go through 6 common errors that are associated with the kettlebell swing. Before I actually go into them and explain what they are, I'm going to give you a demonstration and I'm going to see if you can kind of pick out as many as possible. Well, I've already given you the amount, so you've got to try and identify what exactly is wrong with this swing. There you go, that's a set of 10 swings, or pretty close to it. That was actually quite challenging for me. But I want to go through some of the most common mistakes that I see with the kettlebell swing and explain why they're not optimal and what we're kind of looking for instead. So if you saw some of the faults or the errors, comment below with what you think they are, and let's see how your guess stacks up with what I've kind of got here to share with you today. So error number 1 is T-Rex arms. This one here, where the kettlebell is kept really close to the body, okay? In the hardstyle kettlebell swing, it is a horizontal projection of force. So the hips will be bent and then they will drive through explosively, and the kettlebell wants to pull you in that direction, okay? So if my arm's bent, you tell me which way the kettlebell wants to travel. Does it want to go that way, or does it want to go that way? Yeah. So T-Rex arms is the first common error. Your arms should be straight, not hyperextended, but straight. A slight elbow bend is acceptable. Okay? So if you put your arms by your side, put your thumb inside of the other fingers like so, and just lift your arms to about chest height, that's the finish position, okay? Ideally, somewhere about there, chest, neck height, that's your finish position, okay? So T-Rex arms, we don't want the kettlebell going that way for a kettlebell swing, we want it to go that way, all right? So no T-Rex arms. The next thing we have is shrugged shoulders, okay? And this really comes about, it generally happens, guys do this more than ladies, I have found in my experience, is generally because the grip is too tight and trying to use the upper body too much. So from a front view, shrug shoulders. From the get-go, you can see the space between my ears and shoulders is very small. So I'm here, everything's, yep, I'm tight, but I'm tight in the wrong spot. And that's 3 reps. And to be frank, they felt awful. Okay, I can feel a ton of tension and pressure up here around my neck and around my shoulders. And that's not where we want the load. That's not where we want the emphasis to be placed. It is a hip hinge and it is an explosive lower body movement, i.e. hips. So this is a 24 kilo bell. This is light for me. I can feel it working predominantly here. That's not what we're looking for in a good hardstyle kettlebell swing, okay? The third thing that happens is that the knees remain bent here. Okay, so if I do a swing, you see my knees never fully straighten. They never fully extend. This is basically like kind of putting your foot on the accelerator, but not really finishing. It's kind of like you're hovering between down and up. You're in this kind of no man's land where you're producing a little bit of power, but not enough, and you're not kind of hitting the brakes either. It's kind of like that person driving your car and they're like, stop, start, stop, start. They're not going very fast, but they're not braking either, and you're just like, what are you doing? So the top part of your swing, just stand up tall. In this position, my legs are completely straight, and as a byproduct of straightening the knee, the quadriceps, the thigh muscles, will contract. They're relaxed. If I straighten fully, they go rock solid. They go rock hard, okay? The next thing is trying to lift with the arms. As I mentioned, so this is number 4. The goal of the kettlebell swing is lower body power development, okay? The arms and the hands are just there to connect you to the kettlebell. That's it, all right? I'm not trying to do an upright row with the kettlebell. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to do a front raise with it. 24 kilo front raise is pretty damn hard, okay? So all I really want from my arms and my hands is to connect me to the kettlebell by hooking my fingertips around the handle. That's it. I'm not squeezing the life out of the kettlebell. I'm not trying to break the handle in half. My grip needs to be firm enough so that I can hold onto it without letting go of it. Nothing more, nothing less. My grip is firmish because I don't want it to go through the wall, but it's loose enough that I'm not recruiting the front delts, the shoulders and the arms, the biceps. Okay, again, hip power. Hamstrings have been developed, glutes are producing power. Okay, the next part, it segues straight into number 5, which is leaning backwards. Depending on how heavy your kettlebell is, will determine the amount of lean you have. But the lean should not come from the lumbar spine, the low back. If this is happening, you've got to place undue stress on the vertebrae. So the strongest and most stable position for your spine is what is known as stacked. One vertebrae directly on top of the other. When we lean back, we create these compressive forces. So some part of the disc is getting more pressure than the other, okay? It is less stable, it's less strong, okay? And already, if I just hang out here, you can try this. Stand up, just lean backwards, legs pretty straight. It feels uncomfortable. But what you will also notice in this extended position is the abdominal wall lengthens. If I stand tall, okay, and I tense my abs like someone's in front of you just going bang, this is the distance of the abdominal wall. If I lean backwards, the distance starts to increase. The abdominal wall lengthens because the abdominals switch off. So we have a tightening of these muscles and the vertebrae compressing, and these muscles start switching off and doing less. Not ideal, okay? We want the abs there as brakes and as stabilizers for you to finish in a nice strong plank position, okay? And number 6, the last one is hinging too early. Okay, so I have another video on this, which is the 4 count kettlebell swing. You can have a look at that. This will help you to be patient on the downswing. And I'll show you what I mean by hinging too early. Basically, the kettlebell will get to about chest height, and then I'm going to start bending from my hips before it actually gets anywhere near my groin. This does a few things. It pulls my center of mass forward because it is increasing the arc of the kettlebell. The path increases, meaning it travels a greater distance, okay? Because I'm bending here, I'm increasing the shear forces placed on the lower spine. So this is where compression is this way, shear forces is this way. One part of my body wants to go this way, and one part wants to go this way. So I have this shearing effect of the vertebrae. Kettlebell wants to pull me that way, and I'm trying to hinge my hips back that way. And then, because the moment arm, where the kettlebell is in relation to the rest of my body, it places more pressure on the spine, and it wants to pull me down, not back. So I've got to then try and reel that kettlebell from here all the way back between my legs into the golden triangle. Does that make sense? So that's the problem with hinging early. It makes the kettlebell travel a greater distance, so it's inefficient from a movement perspective. It is placing shear forces on the spine, okay, because it's further away. And we're not going to be able to produce as much power from the hips because I'm going from here. The kettlebell is much lower as well, so then I have to, on the up phase, extend my spine. I have to arch my back before I can even then try and punch my hips through. Does that make sense? There's a few things to kind of grasp and understand with that. I know it's quite detailed, but this is the level that I look at movement through. I see somebody swing, okay, Yes, arms are straight, shoulders are down. Okay, they're hinging early, right. So the way we fix that is by planking for longer. You have to play chicken with the kettlebell. Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Hinge out of the way. So guys especially hinge early because they're afraid of the kettlebell hitting, you know, that private zone. So it takes time, takes practice. Like I said, I do have another video on the 4-count kettlebell swing which can help you fine tune when to hinge, so when to bend and when to straighten from the hips. But that right there in a nutshell, guys, is the 6 main things that I see people getting wrong with the swing. The first one is the T-Rex arms. The next is the shoulder shrugging, then finishing with knees bent. So your top position should be here. I'm 178 centimeters tall, thereabouts. At the top of every swing, I should be 178 centimeters tall. Okay? Then we have lifting with the arms. It is a lower body power dominant exercise. Don't want my arms to lift it. Don't want my hands to crush the bell. My arms are there just to connect me to the kettlebell. That's all they do. Okay? Then we have leaning backwards. How am I going to get to 178 centimeters if I'm leaning back? It's impossible. Get tall. Head up. Imagine there's a glass ceiling above you. Crack that glass ceiling. And then finally, hinging too early. Hinging early. Versus being patient. Hinge late. Okay? Plank for longer. So there you go, guys. Those are the 6 most common mistakes that I see in the kettlebell swing. I hope you can kind of review what I've shown you and the common faults, video yourself, and then compare the pair. It's kind of like spot the difference. This is what Jesse showed me. This is what I do. What can I do to kind of, you know, make yours better? What can you do to make yours better? So guys, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, queries, comments, drop them below, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for watching.